What time is it? Ooh, the Raz, the Mystery D. Oh, let's get rid of him. He ain't even here. It's the Chuck Show. He's getting a coffee, guys. He'll be back in a sec. How's everybody doing tonight? Well, how are you doing? Oh, so Mystery D's got the pretty little PC now. Looking like this whole thing over here, huh? I should get some fancy lights for my truck, some accoutrements, get the feng shui going. Wasn't Jurassic Park originally filmed in like 720 or some nonsense? I like watching old movies in 4K as a. Roxanne, you don't have to turn the red light. I'll never do that again. Sometimes I lie though. What's going on, Reaper? Delay. How's everybody doing? As usual, Josh is slacking on the program here. You know, he's supposed to be the informative one. I'm just a shit talker, so give me something to riff off. I could do this all night, but How about that orange vanilla cup? Tastes pretty damn good. Oh, wait a minute. There it is. So, anybody fly today or what?
No.
Oh, look, someone so nice of you to join us.
Man, I had a ninja dookie sneak up on me. Out fixing a cup of coffee, and it was like, surprise, sucker.
Keep it over there.
I don't mind sharing.
With you, big boy, anytime.
You know, my new favorite thing about live streaming at the house is being able to work on my stuff while I do this.
Well, it's a good thing, because I was going to make you talk about beta flight tuning tonight.
Oh, yeah?
I was.
You know, we can definitely talk about it, but it's one that definitely warrants a video. I feel like I've really got it down pat, and I feel like the few other people that are doing tuning videos on it, they're not wrong. They're completely right, but I feel like they go too far and too deep, and I feel like most of us probably don't need the extent that those guys are going to.
Oh, like know-it-all and tech boy who pretty much tell you that, you know, this is good enough and you don't need any more?
Well, and it's not that, but like most things, you know, there's like multiple levels of something, right? Where, you know, you can equate, much like the Shrek analogy, Betaflight 4.2 to an onion. Now, some of the layers are really important and some of the layers are less important, but the ones that you dealt with
Just stop. Okay, just stop. Plummet, big dog, where you been all my life, man? I'm sorry, Josh. I saw him in his little $5 he liked to throw in. Plum, where you been? We missed you.
Well, not to, or actually, in order, I can contribute to this tangent. In 2 weeks, not next week, the week after, I was supposed to be working from home. And today I got put on a trip. I'm going to Plummet Land.
Nice. You're going to Saginaw, baby.
Yep, about 2-3 miles outside of Saginaw.
Plummet aware of this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I reached out to him when it happened earlier today to say, hey, this week I'll be around.
Hey, Park should be ripping, or should be ripe for the ripping.
Well, and regardless of work and all that other stuff with the sun staying up longer, but Monday I'll be there. I usually get in town a little early. There was only one-way flight that lands at like 1:30 in Detroit. It'll only take me an hour to get up to that area, or an hour and a half. And actually, I think that's with traffic. I might not hit too much traffic.
Depends on which way you go.
Yeah, going north at lunchtime.
Well, I mean, if you go around the city, like, dare I say it, towards Flint and loop around, you go around, you get through that shit right quick.
And that usually is the way I go.
Head towards Murder Town. I was thinking about you, Clement, lately too, man. Good weather has reared its head again, so I think it might be time to ask my boss for a load up there one of these weekends.
That is a do it.
Been jonesing for some pots, Park. Leon, what's up, little brother? How's that racing going, kid? Tearing that shit up. I see you posting on Facebook like every damn day. Weirdly enough, usually exactly at the same time Vic does. On my notifications, it's always Leon and Vic posted on blah blah blah.
Two big dogs. Yeah, doing a little bit of overhaul work to the primary here. About a week ago, my two rear motors started with slipping bells. Well, I didn't think about it before one slipped all the way, but the one that only slipped a little bit, I threw a little bit of epoxy up under that lip and squeezed it back together. So we'll see how that holds. The other one came down so hard it truly bent. So I replaced it.
Damn, Josh replaced something? Must have been fucked up.
Just the bell. I know, right? I've turned into Doc Watson.
Serious. If anybody I know is stretching their shit out more, it's freaking Joshua.
Hey, when you got a choice, fly or don't, that's an obvious one.
So yeah, you're doing great then. There's been no races in 8 months. All right. They should be coming up though, yeah? Get that.
Well, locally, something could be kicking up. Now, I don't know if the Maryland boys are still under, any kind of strict regulations, but I know in our state of Delaware, things have been lifted to everything except extremely large crowds, for better or for worse.
Stage 3, right? Whatever that means. Stage 3.
Oh, yeah, something like that. I don't know what all that means. And honestly, what's going to happen. The more they open everything up, the more the cases are going to inflate. So then they're going to end up backtracking. You watch.
Well, like good old Trump said, I'm going to have to slow these testings down. They're making me look bad.
Right. Not right before voting season.
Hey.
Couple tens of thousands of lives are worth another term, right?
Right? I'd say. Considering the alternative.
Well, yeah, I got nothing for old Biden.
But yeah, you guys totally came on here to talk politics.
I know, right?
Woo!
Where are you holding down at right now, Chuck?
Oh, Indianapolis, in the good old Walmart parking lot. Here, check this out. It's the wonderful thing about streaming from your phone. You see that van over there?
Yep.
There's a whole row of cars next to it. Those are the people that live within the Walmart parking lot. They never leave.
And I didn't realize that was a thing till I went some other places, because we don't have that around our parts, at least yet.
Like straight up, dude, they live in Walmart or at Walmart.
Now, are they
kind of like me?
Yeah, well, you live other places too.
Wherever I may roam, baby.
Right?
Hold on.
So what's going on out here?
Ted
Ted Nugent,
the
for president.
beta flight quad.
As much as I really want to get behind that, no, I'm pretty sure I could get behind that.
I didn't hear what you said. I was talking over you.
Oh, my bad. I said Ted Nugent for president.
It would definitely be interesting.
Well, and I started to go the first place, which was, there are a lot of ideals that he shares with Trump, but my problem isn't Trump's ideals. My problem is Trump.
Well, that's everybody's problem.
But again,
so,
I'll get off politics.
Yeah. Here's a good segue. Liam's talking about he's testing emu flight. You know what? A lot of people are testing emu flight right now. That's like the flavor of the month, but it's been longer than a month.
Yeah, well, honestly, the emu guys have done a really good job about keeping momentum. And that's where, Butterflight initially made this real big splash. They got everybody on board. They got some flight controllers designed, and then they fizzled, like quick style.
Are they like beta flight? Do they get paid or do they not get paid?
That is correct. They are volunteer only.
Flies like crap, but the dynamic rates are nice. So is flying like crap worth the dynamic rates?
Well, hold on. That would be the first person that thinks emu flies like crap.
Well, I'm assuming that he just started with it and is just starting to screw with stuff.
Well, and what a lot of people really like about emu is that it doesn't require much tuning for a 5-inch most of the time. However, people seem to be split really wide. They either love it or they hate it with no in between.
I would have to say, next besides Clean Flight, obviously, it's probably the only system I have not tried. And I probably won't.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been curious at times, but I still stick to my mantra. Emu Flight is forked from Beta Flight, and anytime Beta Flight publishes any big feature, Emu Flight gets it by default. Now, I know that they're working on their own things and that they have their own stance on certain things like VTX tables that a lot of people get really stirred up about. But, oh man, I'm having a hard time getting all this in my screen. Let's see. You're going to have to read it to me. I missed it.
Why don't you get your laptop on here?
Well, I was working on it, but then the ninja poo hit.
Well, it's not like we've been very organized for the show so far, so go for it.
Anyway, my point is, I know that they're working on their own things, but what happens with a lot of these features is they implement it and they get a lot of feedback, which is it's good, but it needs something, and then it's either really hard to overhaul or they just don't have the desire because there's not enough benefit. There's a difference between something being new and something being valuable, bringing a lot of value to the picture. And unfortunately, a lot of the things that it inherits from Betaflight have a huge amount of value. So for that, I'm going to stick with my Betaflight, kind of just sticking with it.
Oh, welcome, Squish. I'm glad you said it because I was trying to be nice to him. Well, I mean, yeah, you say that, and that's what I thought. It's Beta Flight with an extra filter or two. That's my impression of it.
Well, and unfortunately, I mean, if you really wanted to try to sum it up in a sentence, that's a fair thing to say. But some of the features that they've implemented change the way it works under the hood quite drastically. So that's where, I kind of teeter, like, do I kind of want to stick where I know what's going on and I understand everything? Or do I want to go down this other route and try to figure it out to maybe find out that it's a little bit behind the curve in some areas? Of course, it could flip on me. It could be ahead of the curve in some areas.
Well, from my understanding, Beta Flight and Emu, we kind of got together real quick and then said "fuck you" to each other, and Emu went this way, and Beta Flight went that way.
Right. But because one is forked.
But I also heard that on things that pretty much do the same things in different ways.
That is correct. Now, but what you're talking about, if you said that about KISS versus Flight 1, there are a lot of people that would get really defensive on either side about that. But at the end of the day, that's what you have to remember. A flight controller is a flight controller. They're consuming the same inputs, right? Accelerometer and or gyroscope input and or receiver input. And they are essentially mixing all that together in order to drive the motors, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that'd be a good example, though, because nobody knows what the hell KISS or Flight 1 really is.
Yeah, right.
Well, the code ain't out there.
Oh, you mean on that level?
Yeah, well, I mean, the code for everything else, the code is out there. If you really know your shit, you can see exactly what everything does.
Well, a lot of it's just math. I mean, without downplaying it, it's just math. You have where am I at now? Where am I being told to go? And what is that delta? And these instructions drive that difference.
Yeah, you lost me at math.
You're full of it. You are way more intellectual than you want to let on.
Not with math. I mean, that's why I fly, Falco and KISS. I don't have to do with the math. The math's done by way smarter people than me. So, and they got that new H7 or whatever coming out, dude. I don't know what the hell that's gonna bring.
Sorry about that. I told it to mute, and of course it didn't.
Hell no.
All right.
You flown Falco X yet, Josh?
No. I have not touched anything other than Beta Flight in 4 years.
Well, I don't really blame you for not messing around with the others because you have invested a lot of time into knowing your shit in Beta Flight.
Well, sure. And that's, I spend a lot of time experimenting and not just reading about it. Of course, I start there, but, I'll take a setting and tweak it and go out in the yard and see what it does. And if it doesn't do much, I'll crank it way up or way down, whatever's the opposite to, in an extreme sense, see what it does. And I just do that I've done that with a lot of things to figure out what they affect and how. I mean, you can't do that in a couple of weeks.
Hey, Leon's got a good point here, but I'm just going to say that, Leon, I don't think anybody likes him. It's just he makes really good crap. It's kind of like Team Black Sheep, man. Everybody knows he's a prick, but fuck, he makes good shit.
Plummet wants me to tune his drones.
Dude, you're in high demand lately, man. The dude I was flying with up in Fond du Lac wants your help, too.
Well, I think what I'm going to try to do is to do a short series of videos. I have a few ideas for what's new to do that are they're not tied into anything. And I think I might pump these up just since there's a lot of the same conversations going on. The first one will be, what do I do with it right after I flash it, which is going to revolve around tuning the filters and a little bit of black box, not UAV tech style. It's just going to be, if you go and you look at this, this, and this, it's going to tell you what we need to do, and this is what we need to do with it. Anything outside of that won't be covered, but I think we'll cover the 90%. Then the second one will be PIDs, but using the sliders. So we'll take out all that weird math and guesswork that people usually have to do, and we'll just do it easy style, which is the way I do it now.
Yeah, I hope that first video is real simple. Homie Chris in Wisconsin, he's not new to flying, but he's new to quads, and like he can fly. He's got control of his quad. To a degree, a person that's been flying for a few months can have it, and he to get to the next level, I flew his quad, and it needs some work. I mean, they're all kind of prop wash, jitters, but it flies, and kind of got to teach that boy something about rates because, like his roll is fast, his flip is or his pitch is slow, like.
Well, to his defense, and we all did it, when you first start out, faster is more pro, and we want to jump straight to it.
Well, in general, his rates are really low. They're way lower than I like. He's almost got like fast racing rates.
Oh, okay.
They're just not equalized to each other.
Oh, you mean they don't share the symmetry like in the graph?
Uh-huh.
That's a little weird.
Yeah, that was really weird. But he let me try it because he's got the DJI goggles and the stuff. It was really cool to see what it looked like. And I bet you in the wintertime with that Scraggle, it would be fucking magnificent. But while I was flying and trying to do power loops and shoot gaps and stuff, because I went all out with this quad, it didn't make a lick of fucking difference at all while I was focused on flying. My mind didn't even register that there was a difference in quality.
I understand what you're saying, except that I'm going to disagree on this point. The packs that I've spent flying Fordos, both with, no leaves on the trees and with leaves on the trees, even though I'm not paying attention to the high defness, I can see all that little scraggle. I can clearly see through all the tiniest little holes and gaps, even where normally, the light comes into play, because you see it and you're like, yeah, but there might be something through it. I can see all that stuff that I can't see in my analog.
True. That would totally mess with fuck you tree, though.
Right. Yeah, because even with his drone, and mind you, I'm not tuned to his rates. I'm not used to flying with his controllers. I got ballsy quick, and I was putting that thing in places, that normally I would second guess putting my own drone.
One thing I really didn't like about it was the goggles themselves. Horrible.
I know.
Absolutely horrible.
So did you get a bunch of like pressure here on the top and a lot of light leak out of the sides? And
I did get a lot of light leak. Most of the pressure was on my nose. Just the shape of my weird head, I guess. But
you and I are similar then, which I would have guessed that our bucket heads are similar-ish. Yeah, it does not fit.
The top strap sucked. You could just get rid of that completely and put a big old fatty on the back. A lot of light leakage, but that's another thing I don't really notice while I'm focused on flying. These people can fuck off. I'm live streaming. Thank you. Sorry. That whole no filter thing.
You're good. Yeah, it's definitely got my attention, but one of the things before I would be willing to even entertain spending that kind of money, the goggles would really have to be retrofitted. And I understand they were first to market. They're fitting a lot of stuff into those things. I get it. But the way it fits your face, I'm not even talking general weight and size. I'm just talking the fitment is terrible. And I know for every one of us that says that, you're going to find enough people that'll disagree and say it fits fine. Like Joe, he says it doesn't bother him at all, fits his face great. But I think for him, flying with his glasses on is a huge deal. And I think he overlooks some of that just for the convenience. And to him, that has more value than a little bit of pressure on the nose and the forehead. So you know, this is a DIY hobby. So if people really wanted to do something about it, they can go visit Home Depot and buy some window or door seal and, do a custom job. And I'm sure that would fix it just fine.
Well, yeah, I mean, he had two pairs. He had one with a bunch of extra foam on it, and that's the one I had on. So like when it sat on my nose, it sat really high. So like I was looking like it was like this, basically. Yeah, it takes eyes.
Yeah.
It's like this. So my eyes were super low, and it was weird.
Oh, it moved as soon as I clicked. Yeah, and this is definitely going to be a point of contention, especially with racers, and that's the other side of this. As a freestyler, we don't notice the little things as much because we're not flying quite as tight, quite as fast, quite as precise with so much on the line. But for a racer, I don't know how much latency there truly is between a good analog link and say the digital, nor do I know truly how much that bigger field of view, because it's not even that there's more camera field of view, but that screen, I think you'll agree, Chuck, was ginormous.
Well, it like I've tried Ketchum's box goggles. He had the ones Raz has got right now, but that thing's like a 7-inch fucking screen and print right here. And like I put that thing on, dude, and I get vertigo. It just no. I was just like, can't do it. Here you go. When I put the digis on, yeah, it was like that for about a half a second, but it really wasn't that big. I don't like the single screen. I
wonder if
it's just because that's what I'm used to, though, is two.
Yeah, but those two are blending to one. I mean, you're comparing. I mean, we're getting close to apples and oranges here. Using one screen or two screens to build one image is still one image consumed by your brain.
It really fucks with my head.
I think that's all in your head.
Oh, hey, you're full of shit sometimes too. But
You
like
know
I
what
said,
because even though I don't get vertigo, I've had that sense of holy crap, that's a lot of stuff going on. I didn't get it with Digi, and I think because they added clarity, instead of everything blurring into one big motion blur, like I could see what was happening. And of course, you train yourself to focus in a certain area.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Once I focused on the center and started paying attention to what I was flying instead of looking at all the cool little things on the screen, it didn't matter anymore so much. It was still noticeable. It was still weird, but it's just like when I changed from 16.9 to 4.3. It took 3 days, and I couldn't even tell the difference anymore.
Right. Yeah, that's something I've stuck with 16.9 just because it's where I started. It's what I was used to looking at. I can fly 4.3, and I've done it with other people's goggles. But just for familiarity, I stick with what I know. I guess it's the same argument for me in regards to Betaflight,
Oh, exactly. I think you're scared that, you might actually like Falcon X so much more. You're going to be like, fuck Betaflight. And you're like, but I put years of research into it.
Every major version, so much changes. It's like a whole new experience. I'm kind of with Liam, which I have a hard time getting behind the people involved. Not all the people. There's certain people, and we'll just leave it at that. But there's a point where you almost have to look past that sometimes, I guess, if you want to be able to benefit from something. But at the end of the day, I have some really good flying drones. So I'm not on the hunt for any flight control firmware to make me fly better and help me, shore up those corners. So I don't need to come to that reasoning. But for other people, if there's benefit there, there's almost a point where you got to go, look, it's one bad apple, maybe two, with a whole bunch of good people behind it, including Nick Willard. There's some others who are integral programmers on the project. And at the end of the day, if you're okay with it and it helps you fly better, then what's the downside?
I'm wondering why Mr. ED is making announcements for the FPV Noob Tube. Better message me, boy. This is what I was talking about on Monday. Then shush with your hole. Well, I did say it on the stream, but I didn't say what it was.
Oh. So I guess somebody's having another baby.
Dude, Squish said, yeah, he'll subscribe to your channel twice if you switch.
Ah! I would give it a shot, but see, at that point, that also, well, I guess their flight controllers aren't, no, they're like $30-ish. And I'll tell you, look, something does have my attention. Now, I've been biting my lip and just, kind of minding my P's and Q's only because I'm really excited about this. Flight One just put out the very first H7 flight controller.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that since I recently got into, Falco X, and what's got me fascinated. I mean, big fucking deal. It's got a bigger chip that processes faster and can handle way more shit. It's not that excites me. It's what's not said. Why does he need that processing power? You get where I'm going with this? Like,
I do.
I know people have been talking about AI a lot and auto tuning and shit like that. I don't know if that's got anything to do with it because I can't imagine what else would take that much processing power. I mean, that's my goddamn phone.
And I mean, it could be a lot of things. Look, because first of all, let's just talk about the differences. The difference between an F3 and an F4 is one, having inverted UARTs, and two, it literally comes down to a couple megahertz. Okay? Minor speed difference. Now, I mean, there's definitely some other differences under the hood, but I'm going to talk about the stuff that really matters the most, right?
The load handling, right? That's what I'm getting at.
Well, and I'm getting there. So you have CPU cycles. And in that, the faster your processor runs, the more instructions it can process in the same amount of time as the slower processor, right? Now you also have memory, not just storage type memory where your firmware can fit, but also RAM, which is how much program the process. Boy, let me try that again. How much of the program the process can have ready to process in any amount of time. Now, F4 to F7 has depending on the variant, I would say a 25 to 35 megahertz difference. So that's pretty substantial. But in this, a lot of the architecture is the same, right? So a lot of the things we've talked about under the hood, they're still the same. H7 is an entirely different breed of processor. Not only in raw processing power in megahertz, is it just over 4 times faster than the F7, but it also has hardware acceleration behind it, which can make it operate even faster than you think it can process.
So it's like got a fucking video card in that bitch.
Sort of.
Like a laptop does.
Sort of. What it has is shortcuts in the processing routines. And so once it knows what to do with those shortcuts, once it's programmed to use them, it can actually comparatively run something like 9 times faster than an F7. It's ridiculous. On top of having more RAM available and more storage for your firmware, right?
Yeah, I mean that's like the difference. That's like a difference between the flip phone and my fucking $1,000 phone, man.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's very correct. It's a huge difference.
Like Joe says, H7, I can't even count up to H, so it's got to be good.
Right? Now, Falco has been moving in this direction for a while. Falco was actually the very first firmware, not Flight One, sorry. Hold on, what was the one before it? Race Flight, not Race Flight. But Flight One is the first firmware that got rid of the hardware abstraction layer in the software. Now, all that is, it's a translator. If you can picture this, you and I and the things that are inputting to the flight controller are speaking English, and the flight controller itself runs on Chinese. The hardware abstraction layer does that translation. As you can imagine, you lose some performance just in there.
Absolutely.
Emu Flight, Beta Flight, all your iNav, all your other variants, they still use that translation layer, right? Flight 1, nope. They made the communication to both the same. That alone had a huge payoff to the performance.
Yeah, for all you guys that aren't so nerdy, that's a big fucking deal.
It amounts to layers, like an onion, right? Go back to Shrek. The more layers you have, the longer it takes to get through the layers. So the long story short, not only was Flight 1 already at an advantage in a lot of ways, now with this, I don't know where they're going, but I have a feeling that while everybody else has been on a, 8K gyro is more than enough, Flight 1 is still trying to see just how fast of a gyro they can utilize. And they've got a filter over top of it. And that H7 gives them the computing horsepower to do it. They just went from a 4-banger to a V12.
I'm ready, baby. Of course,
Now,
we ain't gonna be able to get one for like a fucking year because he's making them out of his garage and they're gonna sell out in 2 seconds.
And look, once the other firmware is ported to it, you'll be able to run anything on it and get a huge amount of benefit. But with Flight 1, I'm really curious what their roadmap is, what it is they're trying to do. And I'm talking about the nitty-gritty details, not the big picture.
That's the thing I don't think you're ever going to be satisfied on, though, because you don't talk about it.
Actually, they talk about it quite a bit on their own boards. I mean, even though the source code is closed, like they have a publicly available roadmap, things that they're trying to implement. It's similar to Beta Flight in that you can go to the GitHub and see, the stuff that's going on. You just can't actually see the source code.
Oh, so like, those things that I never pay attention to. Yeah.
I know. I think 3 times I got really curious and popped open some of the source files in Beta Flight and was like, yep, it's way over my pay grade.
Well, I just mean freaking, what do you call them? I don't even like Discord, dude. Get me into a fucking bunch of posts like that, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. I got to get back in there. I've been playing catch up. For going back on the road, my first 2 weeks were pretty hard and heavy. I had 1 day off in between trips and 2 3-day trips. And I'll tell you, it felt good to be back on the road, and it felt more normal. But definitely required a little bit of rest, too.
Right? Well, it's good you're back on the road, though. We get to see you more often.
Yeah. Yep, and I'll be around. But I try to pop in during the day here and there on breaks and in between stuff, too, for my own mental health.
See, this is Squish. He's so good at putting it in words for me. And that's pretty much how I feel about most forums. And Discord is basically a fucking forum. It's just set up a little differently.
It's no different than Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, don't ruin shit. Don't pop my perfect little bubble, okay? I like it. It's cozy and warm in here.
Huh. See, I don't really mind. I kind of wish our guys would all jump on a Discord kick and we'd move our chat over there. But
dude, I talk in there on the daily. Where are you at?
I know, but not everybody's in there. What'll happen is as I get sucked into one, then everybody's going, "Oh, Josh, never XYZ."
I mean, shoot, we got Doc comes in quite a bit.
Yeah.
Homeboy Nick. Vampire used to be up on Discord, but he don't come by no more.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we get people that go through seasons too, pop in for a little while, pop out for a little while. Can't let life get in the way, right?
Obviously, you have not been in Discord in our Discord. You know what, Vampire? You might be in the old one because Josh made a new one because he didn't know there was an old one. So
I think no, Vampires in our new one. But see, there's a point. Remember where I kept going there, and I said, "Man, this thing's just dying. Like I can't get anybody in there." Like not 3 weeks later, Chuck's like, "Man, our Discord's blowing up." I'm like, "I thought you didn't go in Discord, number one. Two, I go in there and there's all kinds of people talking. I'm like, I don't know if somebody paid people to go in there to make me feel better or what, but
I just started saying stuff in there, and then a couple people started yapping.
and when I say stuff, nobody has anything to say. Well, I'm all right with that. That's all right, Plummet. Hang in there, man. It's more important to handle the life. That way, when you do play, you can play guilt-free.
That's right.
Yeah, so I was actually lining up a meetup with old Copper Top.
Really?
The week that I'm going to see Adam, since I thought I was going to be here, he's coming to the area where I live. And he was like, "Hey, you want to meet?" I was like, "Hell yeah." Not a day later, work was like, "Hold up."
Well, at least you got one. At least you're going to meet somebody.
Oh yeah. And when I looked on the map, I think free some I forget now, Freetown or Freeville, free something. Anyway, it's only like 5 or 6 miles away from Saginaw. So once I figure out where exactly in Saginaw Adam is,
he's up there, bro.
well, what I mean is north, south, east, west.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Plummet wouldn't
But
take
no,
me.
that'll be good because I haven't been able to see Adam in quite some time.
Yeah, Plummet wouldn't take me to his house.
Well, that's okay. I hear his mom's hot, so I'm gonna get him to take me to his house.
Yeah, I think he was embarrassed of me.
Oh, I don't blame him. But that would have been all the more reason I exposed my clan to you. But yeah, with being that close, I figure we'll meet up at least once, if not twice, because I'll do my typical get in town on a Monday, early afternoonish. And then I usually tell people through Wednesday because Thursday, my whole plan is just to get home, after work.
Yeah. Well, that'll be cool, man. That'll be cool. I wish I could get up there right now. But you're during the week anyway. If I was there during the week, it would be a miracle. Last time I was actually up visiting Adam, it was during the middle of the week, but I had a run, and then it kind of worked out where I didn't have to be back down in Indianapolis for my next run till later, and I kind of fudged things a little bit and lied to my boss a little bit, and worked out good.
Which for me it works out because Monday is a travel day. My whole purpose Monday is just to get to where I'm going. Doesn't matter when, just to get there. But even on the weekdays, I end work at 5. Yep. Right now the sun's staying up long, so weather permitting.
What up, Casey? SAA's wife saying hello to everybody.
Nice.
She must be out having a cigarette in the man cave. I did. Plummet, that's still one of my favorite flights. Even though I have more skill now than I did then, that was still one of my absolute favorite flights, was flying there.
Well, be on the lookout for spots, Clown. I don't care if it's just a park and a play set, but be on the lookout.
Dude, all you gotta do is go to Parts Park. That fucking place has got everything.
Well, and I just don't remember exactly where that place is at. I start opening up my Google Maps. I just don't have a point of reference for there. But no, actually, that makes sense because I'm actually half the distance closer to him than where I was last time we met. So, because I was in Midland last time.
Sorry, Mr. Reedy over here is dropping bombs on me in Messenger. Holy shit. Wait till you hear about this shit, Josh. Anyways, I can't talk about it now, so fuck you.
All right. Well, definitely have my curiosity. Well, I got to get on now that I've got your footy. I got to get back on the oh my god, the skit.
Yeah, guys, we got a video coming out. It's gonna be fucking good, man. We've been dabbling a little bit in the funny skits like old Icky used to do. So we got something coming real soon. Well, as soon as this guy does his fucking job.
Yep, it's coming. I've been recording a lot lately with all the stuff going on personally too. So
Yeah. Oh, let me stop real quick. Noid, Night Train,
right.
Jeffrey Style. What's up, everybody? We filled up. I didn't even see. Busy yapping my flap. Chuck made that Brando his bitch. Aw, thank you, Screw.
Let's see here.
While we have this awkward silence, I'm gonna go ahead and just say, if anybody wants some stickers and straps, send us your name and address to the FPV NoobTube channel at gmail.com. Yes, that whole fucking thing. The FPV NoobTube at gmail.com. And we'll send you a couple. We got so many, we kind of decided to say the giveaways are just entirely too much effort on everybody's part. So if you want some, just let us know and we'll send you two of each.
I agree. Hey, Mike, I don't know if oh no, I didn't mention it to you yet. I just hit Adam today. I'm coming to Freeland in 2 weeks. So if you got some time in and around work, I'll say Monday through Wednesday. Let me know. Let us know.
Ooh. Ooh, Buffalo Wild Wings attack.
What flavor?
Uh, hot and chicken adobo, or spicy, smoky adobo.
Haven't had the smoky adobo.
It's lackluster.
No.
I
I
gotta
think
eat
the
there.
last time I had something there, it was like one of the curry flavors, and I expected a lot more out of it than I got.
I think that's the general theme with that place. I just got to eat there every once in a while when I'm craving wings to remind myself there's better wing places than that for a lot less money.
Yeah, which is a shame because for a place that does all wings, it should be a lot bigger than it is.
Dude, I spent $30 on dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I got a burger and some wedges and some wing, a shitload of wings.
Oh God, I always go bonkers on just the wings, but you know, the only thing better than wings is more wings. So
Yeah, well, that's the problem is I'll just eat like $80 in fucking wings, or I can spend $30 and fill myself up on a burger and mow some wings and regret it later.
the burgers I don't think are great there, which is why I'll usually stick to the wings. And honestly, I actually like their boneless wings better than I like their bone in, and I am a bone in guy.
I'm strictly a bone-in guy. How about y'all? You guys bone in or bone out, or just don't really give a fuck what we're talking about right now?
See, and for me, it's based on mood a lot of times, right? So a lot of times when I'm eating wings, it's not in work. I don't have to go to work, and I don't care.
Hey, Josh, if you can hear me, you might want to try. Oh, there he is.
Yay for wireless!
You you froze, so I'm just like, I froze.
I was watching myself frozen on the computer. Anyway, what I was saying is it's based on mood because when I eat wings, I go hog wild. I don't eat wings, you pick the little bit of white stuff out between the bones and then throw it away. You don't get any sauce on you. Baby. Sauce everywhere. Okay? Elbows deep. So a lot of times if I'm at work, I go boneless. The only other place where I will go boneless without thinking about it and know that I'm going to turn out better is Buffalo Wild Wings because they don't get their texture right.
I thought my shit froze. I did that on purpose, Noid. I gave it the old. Bring your mics. Yeah, hey, everybody read that shit like 5 times that I put on the screen from Double A because he needs some company in there since we ain't going up.
Oh, they did postpone it though.
Yep. We kind of figured they would.
Yeah, we're still trying to get some people. That is a good point. If you get the chance to go. I'm not crazy about it this year. I mean, I'm not one of those pandemic poopers that's just scared to death about everything. But there's a little common sense that comes into play, and
well, plus we're trying to save some money because we got quite the expensive trip coming.
Then there's that. I still think with enough peer pressure, we might be able to get somebody else on board.
Well, I mean,
we just have to make Eric sell his Mavic.
Well, I mean, Raz, he's been spending all this crazy money, and I'm like, bro, why don't you just save for a little while and get the fuck out of New York for a week?
You would love to hop in an RV somewhere where we obviously haven't decided yet, because last time I brought it up, Chuck thought something else was going on. I thought something else was going on. So I'll say somewhere east of California and then drive 15 hours west to get to the coast.
And take a week to do it. And fly. I think Squish needs to fucking take a week off, but he recently had like 6 G's worth of repairs.
Oh, really?
Squish is another truck driver, for you guys that don't know, owns his own truck. So every once in a while, he gets hit with a nice fat bill.
Yeah, owner-operators, definitely. It's the time when you look at it and go, eh.
Oh, shit.
Just catching up in chat.
Plummet, if you'd save your money instead of giving it all to us, you might be able to come.
Maybe we'll just have to keep track of it. Oh, God. We'll figure it out. We're going to go on the road. Chuck got to see some cool spots. I know that Squish has seen some of those cool spots, and I would even like to find some in between that maybe they haven't seen, just so it's all new. Just to see something different. The Midwest, actually, I'll even say the West, the mountains in the West, has so much to offer that you just don't find anywhere else.
Yeah,
I can go to Montana and I can fly in the mountains. I can go to PA and fly in the mountains. I can go to Wisconsin and fly in a park, which is the same as flying in a park in Florida. But there's those, there are things that are just so different that you can't get anywhere else.
I can't say mountains really interest me specifically for flying very much, but I do know Westside is in the mountains, and I do know he knows some really cool freaking spots up in there that aren't necessarily your long-range blah, blah, blah flights. The beauty is fantastic, and I'm sure we'll highlight it thoroughly, but I'm there to fuck shit up. For the most part. I have 4 quads. I've already decided I'm going to have 3 of them that I'm just ready. I'm fucking do anything. I don't give a shit. And then 1 that's got to last the whole trip so I can fly in Cali.
Well, if you pace yourself right, that shouldn't be an issue.
Well, pacing in me has never really been
I
a
know, I
thing.
know.
So.
I was going to say, and I only say that because, I can do so much with one, and I'm not being gentle with it. I'm on to, I would say your secret, but you were trying to tell us forever. But I'm on to it now.
Oh. What are you talking about? Breedy's still fucking with me on Messenger.
Oh, nothing.
Fucking hate that.
Clement, I like trees. I actually really enjoy park flying. But I like to mix it up too. I mean, if you haven't really flown, a concrete jungle, like, especially when you don't get to do it all the time,
Oh.
once you get over the everything I hit is going to destroy something fear, it's just like flying in a park without the forgiveness.
And way more fun.
That depends on the structure. And I say it because there's a big difference between abandoned building, which is just a one level, does nothing, has no entrances and exits, or not very many, versus having something like some of those really iconic Detroit spots, which are hard to find anywhere.
Even some of those suck dick.
That's what I'm saying, though.
That's why Brandos are the best.
Brandos, in a lot of ways, yes, but they're limited.
Yes, and limited time. Because wherever you look, no matter what direction you turn, there's going to be something really cool right in front of you.
But we've been to some bandos that it's a bando, and you get there and it's like, this is it? All right, well, all right.
It's like a shack with one window.
Yeah.
Maybe a hole in the roof.
You're using this term wrong. Like, you can't just throw that word at anything. Like, you got to give it to the worthy spots.
Inspiration? Shit, if I'm your inspiration, you ain't going to do nothing but break shit.
Okay, he's being nice, like something's up.
Which one?
Squish.
No, he's being sarcastic.
You're right. I've watched him walk people into that trap and then on his turn be like,
well, he's got a real streak of chivalry going on lately. He's been on a roll, so.
Oh, so you want to mess mine up, but you don't want to mess his up.
Yeah.
That's just messed up.
That just shows who I love more. And it ain't Joe.
No. Dude, being the wife, we look for shows that we can watch together. Helps, just nice to be able to sit on the couch and do something and not say anything sometimes, just enjoy. And so we've been watching a series called Cougar Town, which honestly, the name makes you think it's going to be like something it's not. It reminds me so much of the people I used to hang out with in high school because these guys are always just tearing into each other like no holds barred. It is beautiful. I shivel all over.
If you're not careful, Squish will shivel all over your face. You'll get it everywhere.
I'm ready.
See, Raz was saying there that he's got an abandoned golf course up there, and he really likes it. Personally, I don't see much merit to that. But then again, if I fly parks, it's got to be like a really interesting fucking park, And a golf course just does not strike me as. I mean, yeah, it has copes of trees every once in a while, but it's generally open area. Like if I fly a park, I want it to be tight, real tight. Like one of that video I put out with all the shadows on the ground, that was fucking rad. Freaking tree dives for days.
Definitely not meant for a speed run.
No. which is why I was so surprised that those props worked out there, because I'm like, these props are fast on my shit. But I get in there and it's just like, wait, I still have all this control. What the fuck?
I was really surprised that you bought an entire pack of those props after only flying them a handful of times.
Yep, I spend my off time when I'm sitting in docks and stuff assembling them. Oh,
That's funny you mention that, because that is the number one thing everybody brings up is how come they don't come assembled?
I have 5 more to put together. I just did a little stack of them last night. To be honest, I'm glad they don't come put together, because if they did, they wouldn't be $3.99 a pack. They would be $6.99 a pack.
Ugh.
Because everything costs money, and if they don't assemble it, that means I'm saving $1.
On a pack of props that already costs $1 more than all the other packs.
Yeah, that's probably the only way they could even be competitive at all. Because $4 is about the max for that. Well, I mean, that's your base price for a brand new fancy prop. It's normal, but I haven't paid that much in 3 years.
I know. I've always been on bulk buys for the last. Well, I haven't been doing it for 3, but the last 2.
Yep. Noid, if you're on 4S, I don't know what to tell you. If you're on 6S, you really do need to try them. All the extra bullshit that they talk about, why they're cool, is all stupid. It doesn't really fucking matter. Why they matter is their performance.
The Oh My God 4 plays, are they 4-bladed props? Okay. I might have to give those a shot. Only on the Hero 8 build. I'm not interested on my standard Hero Session builds. But God, that thing is fat. I mean, I can get used to it after a couple packs, but the transition? It's taken everything I've run into, but I'm just not fully convinced with 3 sessions that run fine that I should be running the 8 instead.
Well, you know what? I figured something out the other day, just because I've been using Hero 8 footage and session footage alternatively. Is something that happened is when I went to go encode it. It took my last session run, which was about 4 minutes. It took 6 to do that, YouTube 4K. 6 minutes. If I go do the same exact length of footage in the same settings in every way, it's going to take 45 minutes to an hour with the Hero 8.
Oh, the bit rate's a lot higher.
It has way more information in that footage than the session does. And that's where I think that you might flip your opinion on that when you come to start using it more. And plus, just getting used to it, because it's a big change.
Well, and it's not that I've hesitated to fly with it. I really haven't hesitated to throw it at anything. In fact, last time Joe and I were down at a college all around, the buildings and all that other shit, it was the first one I threw up in
the air. But do your phone. You went tin can.
What do I have to do?
Plug headphones into it and unplug them. Me and Josh have the same phone, and so does Eric. And this does this stupid thing after you live stream for a while or video chat. You go tin can. Now talk. Watch. Say something, Joshua.
Crash and trash airfield?
You see, it's totally fixed. He just plugged headphones in and unplugged them. It's fucked up. I don't know what it is.
At least it's a simple fix.
Right? And I just accidentally found that shit.
Because it used to be, when it started happening to Eric, he was the first one with the S10. He would restart his phone, go in and out of stuff.
Oh
And
my
I
God.
think you discovered it one day by accident while you were doing your hold on, I'm messing with my headphones thing.
Yeah. And fucking dude, he would go off for hours just to fucking why is this at my phone costs $1,000? What the fuck?
Just something in the driver, and as it switches back and forth, it fixes. Oh well.
I knew that would work because we all have the same phone, Mr. ED, and it happened to me. You know what? I don't think it might have happened to me once in our live stream so far. Oh, look at that old school gloriousness. Oh, bing.
But no, now that I've got proper mounts for, I say proper, the newest ones will be the best. I'm still waiting to get mine even. I got to catch up with Ford, but just having it wrapped up took away the fear of flying with it. It's held up great to everything. The mount has taken all the punishment.
How's the handling with your normal props?
Heavy,
In the throttle, yeah. Way more throttle on.
especially coming out like cruising throttle. I don't find to be terribly different. It is higher, but not terrible. But coming out of dives, usually the first one where I'm cutting it tight, I end up nose bombing and rolling and cartwheeling. Like I said, it's the transition because once I do it once or twice, I'm okay.
Yeah. Before you get those stupid four-blader things, get the stupid foldy things. And try it on the Hero.
Yeah, we'll see. I still got a shelf full of props I have to run through.
Well, so do I, but so what?
Yeah, homie's on a budget.
Yeah, well, so am I now. I
Yeah,
saved $200. I saved $200 this week.
nice.
Yeah, and that's a really good thing because I ran into some unexpected expenses from the house, and it kind of killed what I had pretty damn low. So this is a good start.
Nice. Well, the time to wrap this thing up.
I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys ready to have us shut the fuck up already? Are we rambling on too long about shit you don't even care about? Let us know in the comments below.
Well, you know,
Like, subscribe. Fuck off.
yep.
I don't know.
I don't care if it's a like or dislike. We appreciate either. We appreciate your interaction. We really love your donations. You guys that are frequent contributors, we appreciate you more than our words let you know.
That's you, Plum. You are the most frequent to this day, even though you ain't been around in a minute. Still.
Contributions aside, we like your company.
Absolutely.
I'll take that over the contributions all day.
I miss my Plum. I've been off level ever since he left. See what I did there?
I do.
I don't know if any of you guys that haven't heard, I don't know if Josh stuck around to hear it. We got our next $100 from AdSense. So something's going to be going down, and I want everybody thinking of somebody who they know that wants to get into the hobby or just doesn't have the shit to fly. This is going to be something where we'll probably be asking you to sponsor someone that deserves it. And we know you guys will be honest about it. So I think that's the way we're going to roll.
The idea behind this is, because it's easy for all of us, me, give me, I want, right? The idea behind this will be to think of somebody who needs it, who can use it the most, and somebody that's not well off, going through something, doesn't have the money for repair, you name it, right? Somebody, it could even be, I've got this, my 14-year-old, I don't have money for another drone, another everything that it usually takes, and we would love to be able to fly together, whatever. But the idea is instead of putting in for you, you're speaking up for somebody else.
Yeah, I would really, personally, I'd prefer if it was a new pilot just because it is in the spirit of the noob tube, and that's kind of what we've been about for a long time. So that would be really cool.
I agree. One of my most gratifying giftings was to Rusty, you know, because him and Chris, you know, they used to take turns flying, gave them the ability to fly together.
Oh, that
Nice.
QX7.
Well, good deal. Before next show, I will have my stuff together for the FAA stuff. I've been catching up on that, and well, it's just to keep touch on it. You know, there has definitely.
I'm not dreading you doing it. I'm dreading hearing what the new shit is that I'm gonna have to say fuck off to. And
I think the awareness is the biggest thing, and then for the people that can take that do take the time of day just to, you know, write people while they still can, you know, there's always a chance. Who knows? Maybe we need to. Oh,
I'm sorry, no one knows why I'm laughing. If Josh wants to explain it, he can.
nope. Anyway, it's just so we can keep our eyes on it all, keep abreast, and for those who are feeling a bit activist, and look, in the spirit of patriotism and all that is right, look at everything going on in the world right now. There's a lot of things changing. It just goes to show you, for the people that are like, it doesn't matter, my voice doesn't count. It does.
Absolutely.
It absolutely does. So we'll have that together just so we can get it condensed and, you know, make it a 10-minute, real quick, here's what it is and here's the direction it's going. And then by then the skit should be out. We're going to be looking for you guys. We'll probably be spamming everything, spamming it all over everything. I hope it turns out as good as I hope it will, or that I think it will. And other than that, we'll see you next time.
And don't worry, that 10-minute compression, we'll bitch about it for like an hour after that. So it'll be a whole show. Don't worry.
Oh, absolutely. Because once you light the fire, it doesn't just go out.
Holy, thank you, brother. Ed, thank you, man. You know where it goes. Whoop, whoop, and shit.
Whoop, 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 whoop. What's funny is if you're waiting for me to hit end and I'm waiting for you to hit end and nobody's hitting end.
Yeah, I know, and I'm hovering.